Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football. I'm Harper Lebel, and joining me today is Brian LeBel, and he is going to be replacing Vincent Turner, our founder and co-host. Vincent is visiting family, so he will be back next week for the show. I know you all will enjoy having him back for our other broadcasts that we do here at 100 Yards of Football. And our producer today is Logan Landers. Thank you, Logan, for everything that you've done. Brian, today we're going to look at Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan. Last year, he won the national championship. This year, 8-5, okay season, but at one point Michigan was losing way too many games for Michigan football. They struggled mightily to throw the ball. His stats are a little bit worse, but still, this is a top prospect. This is a guy that getting in the weight room and training for the combine, working on his 40. This may be the number 2 or 3 tight end overall that we're looking at today.
Yeah, I think right now he's right behind Tyler Warren from Penn State, but I think because you can't teach his size, he's got great hands, kind of a run-heavy offense, so obviously the numbers are expected to dip and everything that happened at Michigan. But yeah, he's probably the second best guy on the board right now.
Well, let's take a deeper dive into Colston Loveland. He's 6 feet 5 inches. He's 245, and I think that's changed a little bit, especially near the end of the year. You have Thanksgiving, you got a little bit of Christmas stuff, you got bowl games. I think that he'd be a better fit at 255, maybe 260. Now he turns into Gronk Jr., right? Big, long arms. He's from Gooding, Idaho. Goes to Michigan, is a part of what I would say one of the great classes that Jim Harbaugh was able to put together in Michigan history. Some great players that have come out, the number of draft picks that they have, even here with a down year. Let me look at his numbers real quick. This past season, 56 receptions, 582 yards, 10.4 per, and he had 5 touchdowns. In 2023, a year prior to that, 45 receptions, 649 yards, 14.4. I think that's what put him on the map, Brian, is that this guy, he can catch the seam route. He can go up the middle. He can deflect a few linebackers and defenders at the college level to get some yards after the catch. He had 4 touchdowns in that 23 season. And again, with Michigan struggling mightily the way that they did this year, coming off of that national championship, he was still proving to be one of those guys that you can go to and really rely on.
Yeah, I think last year put him on the map, but I think this year kind of cemented it because the quarterback room for Michigan was a mess. He didn't really have a true, consistent passer the entirety of the season. Their passing numbers, which weren't great under McCarthy the year before to begin with, fell off even more. But like you said, he's very, very good, the short to intermediate stuff, because he's got a big body. He plays almost like a power forward. He can box out defenders. They ran a lot of quick hitters where it's just, hey, if you're going to put a DB on him, we're going to run a quick slant. He's going to be bigger than you. We're going to throw it up. If you can put a linebacker on him, he's going to try to go around you because he's faster. He falls to that prototype, which the defensive, if you're a defensive coordinator at the next level you hate, because you got to either bring a safety up or you got to extra attention has to be added to him. And what he's able to do, a lot of the short stuff, the intermediate stuff, he's got good run after the catch. So that's why Michigan would utilize him a lot. Some of that wasn't trusting the quarterback, but having a really good tight end for a questionable quarterback room and a lot of young guys that are maybe coming in and trying to earn their stripes as that security blanket like Loveland was, it's good to have, and it really adds an extra oomph to your offense.
Well, only being a junior, I think he has the time in terms of his youth to work on his size and get a little bit heavier, a little bit thicker, if you will. He's a very good run blocker, but he's not an elite level guy. I think he plays a little bit too high at some times, although he's very effective. And Michigan proved how effective he was because they kept running the ball, and that's where their success was throughout the course of the season. They were going to chew up big chunks of yardage, big chunks of time by keeping the sticks moving and getting down the field, but mostly it was on the ground game. So I think that's going to be more than maybe most people will know. An advantage for him going into training camp is he already knows how to block. He doesn't need to be taught that. He does have a great catch radius. You mentioned his ability to get himself open and using his body as a deflection between the defender and where the ball is going to be. He's got good speed. Maybe if he works on becoming kind of elite, take 0.2 of a second off of his 40 time, his acceleration once he makes a catch, all of those are pluses for him. He's got some tools that doesn't need a whole lot of refining in order to be impressed with him and maybe move him up on your board.
Yeah, I mean, the ability to high point the football at his size it's spectacular. When you got a 6 foot guy, 6'5" guy that can go up and bring the ball down over defenders. I mean, as a 6 foot nothing DB or safety, it's very, very difficult to be able to stop that. And then he can also come back to the football too, which he proved and he showed on multiple instances throughout the course of the year. But yeah, I mean, he does everything well. I think the idea is maybe he's not the greatest run blocker as of right now, but they don't have to take him off the field, which is a very huge plus for a lot of teams, especially with a young guy. He can still be out there because he showed that he could do it at Michigan and they were successful.
Yeah, he's got good feet. And again, I think when he adds a few pounds and then really take the time after the draft, which, what is it, late April. So have all of May and June to work with your coach and really develop some things and be very specific. Every pro that I can think of that had long careers, Michael Jordan being one, near the end of his career, he couldn't jump the same way. So he worked on a fadeaway. And he worked he spent a lot of time working on that because he didn't want to have his shot blocked and he wanted to stay as competitive as he can possibly be. So you're not recognizing that, well, Michael doesn't have it. No, he's just working on other parts of his game that he needs to enhance as his body type changes. Here you got a young guy, again, being a junior, a younger guy. He's going to add size. He's going to add strength for obvious reasons. And pad level, getting that down, that's not hard to adjust, but you just need to do it and practice it at the right level. A lot of great tools. Let's sum this up for Colston Loveland. If we give Tyler Warren the number one tight end right now, is Colston a solid 2 or is he third? Is he the next guy up? And is he more of a Brock Bowers type of guy or is he more of a Mark Bavaro? Which would you put him in between the two?
I don't know if there's going to be another Brock Bowers because what he was able to do at Georgia and then he just seamlessly, it seemed like he got better when he went to the next level. I don't think Loveland's the level of receiver that Bowers is, but I think he's very, very good. I think a team is going to look at him and it's going to be very, very difficult, especially if you have a hole at the tight end position to pass him up beyond maybe the end of the first round. I think he's a very, very solid chance, depending on his combine, to be an early day 2 pick. I know you can't get enough of the 6'5" guys that could block and go up in high point of football in the red zone. You just can't, especially in the modern era of football. I think he has cemented himself behind Warren. I just think Warren is that good. But I do think I would compare him more so. I like Dallas Goedert because he's not the fastest guy, but he's got good hands. He can use his size. Obviously, he probably needs to put on a little bit weight to do that, the level of what Goddard is doing right now in the NFL. Obviously, he just won a Super Bowl with him, but I do think he's got a lot of upside. He did it at Michigan. He's won a championship, so he's got that pedigree. I think he's got a really solid chance of being very productive at the next level.
Yeah, there's some folks saying he's definitely going to be a Pro Bowler sometime in the near future, that he's got that type of a little bit of everything. Does he have room to improve? Yes, all these players do, but he's already got so much, the size that you can't coach, the want to. The ability and playing in big games and winning the national championship. He's been all throughout at a level where everybody says, you know what, we probably should go with this guy. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? He and Tyler Warren, both Big Ten guys. There's some other Big Ten tight ends that, they played in big games and they've been a part of, really developing program type of scenarios where, that's why you're here. Yeah. This is why we brought you in, for a game just like this. And he's got to experience that a little bit. And I think that'll be a great plus. Final thoughts.
Well, like you said, the Big Ten tight ends, man, they translate to the next level. Sam Laporta is another guy I would talk about. They're just, for whatever, I don't know what they're eating up there, but whatever they're doing, it's working. I think Loveland has a really good chance, like I said, to follow in those footsteps, to be another really good Big Ten tight end that can come in and make an immediate impact, too, because the scheme he was playing in is perfect for a lot of the modern offenses. We're going to run the ball a lot, run some play action, have you run a lot of short intermediate stuff and run after the catch, which he excelled at.
Yeah, thank you for bringing up Laporta, and just another one of those guys that you don't have to take him off the field, and he's able to stay on there and do something for you, keep the sticks moving, and next thing you know, you're in the end zone. So Colston Loveland is our feature here today at tight end from the University of Michigan. We'll be watching him, and hopefully he'll have a great combine and move himself up to the first round. If not, he'll be a high second round pick. Someone will be have a better football team because of him. So for Brian LeBel, Logan Landers, our producer and engineer, I'm Harper Lebel saying thank you for tuning in to 100 Yards of Football. This has been our Draft Prospect Show. Thank you for being a part of it today, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Have a fantastic